I think I'm live. It usually takes like a couple of minutes for everything to load up on YouTube. So I'm just hoping that I'm currently live. I'm not sure. Just checking everything. I think I'm live. Hey, okay, fine. So I don't know who's gonna tune in. I hope someone is going to be tuning in right now. But if not, whoever catches me, whatever time you catch me, um, how's your weekend going so far? I'd love to hear from you. My weekend has been amazing so far. Cannot complain. So many lessons, so much growth, and part of that is what I'm going to be talking about in this current live. So I'm so excited. It's really going to be fun. Okay. So for anyone who's tuning in right now and maybe you're not aware of who I actually am, I'm Eva and I'm an intuitive energetic healer. I do work with the Akashic records and a methodology called quantum flow, which is all about rewiring your nervous system by releasing trauma, emotional wounds, and patterns that might be stuck within your nervous system, which is actually related to your unconscious mind and might actually be impacting how you show up in life. But I'm going to share more on that as we go through the live so that you can really understand what I'm talking about. For now, I just want to introduce my topic, okay? And my title today is It's All a Game, okay? So I don't know about you if you're watching this, like if any of you actually heard that last year there are a couple of scientists who actually won the Nobel Prize for proving that the world we're living in right now is an illusion. Like we're kind of like I'm trying to find the right words for it, but I'll just stick to illusion. Like we're not actually living in an actual reality. It's like a hologram or something like that. They actually won a Nobel Prize for that last year. And it's crazy, meaning that even you see me here, physically, this is again all an illusion. And I'm not gonna go deep into that because I'm not a quantum physicist, so I cannot explain that in detail. I'm just aware of the concept, which is something that I've been trying to embody for quite a while. Because it's kind of like those concepts where you kind of like understand it on a mind level, but you haven't really experienced it to actually be able to embody what that means. So I do have like a mental kind of like awareness, which is what I've been working on, but I won't say like I fully embodied that entire lesson within me. So still working on it, okay? But when you look at it, some of the teachings I've tapped into with regards to this, saying that the universe we live in is actually not real. It's all a hologram, it's all an illusion. And if you look at anyone who's done astral projection or gone through an NDE, they actually confirm that and tell you like once they're out of their body, out of the things that weigh them down to the physical reality, it's like a whole new world opens up for them. And it's kind of like that was never real. Like, because you go through the physical experience, the challenges, the happy moments, and you're so involved in how real it is. But then when you go to the other side, it kind of like hits you, which is what the NDE experiences or astral travelers talk about. They say that on the other side, you just realize that it was all a game, which is what I'm talking about today. Okay. So this is how I'm actually trying to understand this particular concept. It's the fact that if you were to look at the life you're currently living like a movie. Okay, so this is another concept that a lot of people in this kind of world talk about. Like, it's kind of like the life you're living is actually a movie. So how does a movie go about, right? In the movie, you have the director who's behind the scenes, probably the person who's the director and the producer, right? Who and the writers, all those people. Like, I'm not in the movie world, so I'm just thinking out of the blue, right? So there are people behind the scenes who create the scripts, who who create the scenes and how they're going to go about and all of that. Then there's the person who's going to be directing the film and telling the players, this is what the actors, this is where you're going to go, this is what you're going to do, and all of that, and just shooting the film and just seeing how that goes, right? So if you use that analogy now with and use your life now in place of the movie, I will say then that the director in this case will be your higher self, who's directing everything that you're currently going through right now. So your higher self has gone about and hired the players who are going to be playing in your movie, your parents, your siblings, your bosses, your spouse, your children, all of that. Your higher self has already taken care of all of that, right? And then it's like, now, okay, fine. Here's the script. Go and figure it out. Now, the trick in this is that the script is not actually completely written. It's something that it's kind of like an improv, right? So you're writing the script as you're playing the movie. Okay, I'm sure you've seen people doing improv, acting on stage. So that's literally what we're doing in this life. Okay, meaning that the people in your life as well, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, all those people, they're also playing roles, right? In your life. Like your higher self hired them to go and play those roles. So now use that analogy and now look at me, probably the people who hurt you in the past, because we normally don't focus on the people who make us feel good, right? We appreciate them, we have gratitude for them, but the ones who really have those memories, for some of us that really stick, are the ones who hurt us the most, right? Because we still, for some people, you're still holding on to that pain and that anger and that disappointment that they put you through. They're still holding on to that, and that's usually what we remember most of the time, especially if you haven't been working on releasing that for yourself, okay? But if you look at it like this person is also playing a role, the same role that you're playing, because that's physical reality, you don't exist. Like it's all an illusion. This is just a role you're playing, okay? So going back to the movie, if you've ever, I'm sure if you're watching this, like you've watched a movie once in your life, right? 100% sure of that. You've seen, if you have a favorite actor or actress, probably they've played so many roles in different movies. And in some movies, they play the good guy. In some movies, they play the villains, right? But as much as the movie is so good and so engaging and so like, top notch, there's never a point where you actually mistake the character in the movie to be the person in real life. Meaning that in the movie, probably this guy was a serial killer or terrorists or something like that. But in real life, that's not who they are. That's how I want you to start looking at it right now. Okay. So if you're all playing roles in each other's lives, including your own life, you're still playing a role. It's just a character. It's not something you're supposed to attach yourself to. Okay. Again, the real you is your higher self that's behind the scene, that's playing everything out, that's hiring all these different people to help you experience the movie in the best way possible. Okay, that's how I want you to start looking and shifting your mindset to look at how you operate in the world, to look at the people and the different players who show up in the world. They are all playing roles. And remember that you're the one who hired them, which is something that a lot of people might not accept, especially the people who've hired them the most, like how the question will be like, how did I hire this person to come and betray me in the worst way possible? How did I hire this person to come and abuse me in the worst way possible? But the truth is, do you know the reason why you hire them? Why do we have villains in movies, right? Because we need to give the movie substance, right? Like, can you imagine a movie where everyone, everything is just happy and go lucky and everything is just carefree? As much as we'd want to watch, more positive minded movies and stuff, but still, like there's always something that glues you, and that's the drama, that's the thrill that's behind everything that's playing out. At first, everything starts out good, and then in between there's chaos, 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 violence, 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 or whatever you watch, right? And then at the end, it's the good guys win, right? Those are the kind of things that attract us. But there needs to be a bad guy for that movie to pop, right? If I may use that word. There needs to be a person playing the bad guy for that movie to actually give you that kind of experience. So, in the same way, as much as we want to live a life, especially in this physical reality, we want an ideality, and the ideal kind of life is where we're not going through any kind of suffering, we're not being betrayed, and we're not all those things, right? But if we didn't have these people playing the bad role, a lot of us will not get the lessons that we need to learn in this current moment. We won't awaken even more fully to who we are. Another way I can explain this is that you see, like also like in movies where like a cop movie and then someone is being interrogated, right? Who's committed a crime, right? And there's always the bad cop, good cop, right? So the good cop is the one who's just, being nice and trying to empathize with you and trying to put themselves in your shoes and all of that and being, really agreeable with you and can make you feel so comfortable and so taken care of, even though you're the bad guy, right? Then the bad cop is the one who scares you like crazy. He's the one who's gonna yell, threaten you with violence, and make you like, literally want to shit yourself. Allow me to say that. They're the ones who scare you into confessing the truth, right? Why do you need the bad cop in this case? Because as much as you want to be good to this person who's committed the crime, if I'm comfortable and you're making me feel good in my head, I'm thinking like, why do I need to confess to something that's gonna take me to jail? Right? So the bad cop has to come in to get you to say the truth, to force you into saying the truth because it's gonna scare you shitless until you're able now to like, okay, here's the truth in order to stop the bad cop from acting the way they're acting, right? So now use that analogy with someone who's probably hurt you in the past and probably in the worst way possible. And maybe for some people, it's happened again and again and again. And you keep on wondering, why is this happening to me? The reason why they keep on playing that role in your life is because one, you're refusing to awaken to your truth. You're refusing to learn the lesson that you need to learn in that moment. So they need to keep on playing that role for you over and over and over again. And sometimes the pain they cause, it's worse. It keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And we think we're being punished, but in actual sense, this person is just wanting you to awaken to the truth. Like, do that, and the person will stop being a bad cop because their role will have ceased. Once you say the truth, like for example in the movie, once the criminal confesses the crime, then there's no need to play the bad cop, good cop roles, right? You've already done your job. The person has confessed. On to the next, right? So it's the same thing. If you're seeing people showing up in your life over and over again, maybe they're hurting you, I don't know. It's because you're refusing to learn that lesson. And the harder or the fastest or farther you run away from this, the more painful it's gonna keep on getting because they're really committed to this role. They're gonna do whatever it takes, right? Remember, your higher self hired them to get the job done, whatever means necessary. So whatever means necessary might mean I'm gonna have to hurt you in the worst way possible for you to awaken to who you actually are. But remember, at the back of your mind, this is just a role they're playing. It's not who they are. Everyone has God in them. Everyone has light in them. Like if you look at the universal laws state that there's just oneness. There's no duality. There's no light or dark. There's just light. It's only that in the physical reality we live in, we create the contrast of darkness to help us experience ourselves even more. So that's why there's love, there's hate, there's light, there's darkness, there's all of that. Because we're creating the experience of darkness for us to truly learn to appreciate or see the light even more for what it is. Because without the darkness, we might not be able to see that or appreciate that in a way, which is how you look at it, right, friend? Now, so if you now have the mindset of, even though this person is hurting me, so first of all, my higher self hired them to play this role, okay? Second of all, they still God in them, they still light in them, they're still of God. So, which means that this whole darkness that they're playing, this whole role, evil person role they're playing, it's just like they're masquerading as darkness, but in actual sense, they are true. They're the beings of light. That's how I want you to look at it. So their true essence is that they are just good people. They're loving, they're unconditional, all of that. They're just playing a role that you hired them to play for you to tap into your own truth. That's it. And once you start looking at the world like that, then now you'll stop feeling these deep feelings of betrayal and anger and jealousy and disappointment and wanting to revenge when the other person hurts you. Because guess what? You created that experience for yourself. And I get it, like for some people who might be watching this, maybe they're not ready to accept that. And that's completely fine. Believe me, when I'm talking like this is something that's I've been working on for ages. So it's not like I just woke up and boom, this concept was available to me. It's something that requires you to constantly work on it over and over again until it becomes a new normal. Remember, I've talked about this in the previous lives I've done, that you need to keep doing something so consistently until you get to a point where it becomes your new normal, that you know no other way other than this. Okay. So when you have this awareness of this person is just playing a role, I had them to do that. The true essence is they're beings of light. Okay. Look at that. So then you stop seeing the evilness in them. Because they're not evil people. They're actually good people. The soul is good. The soul is light. The soul is love. Again, just playing a role of darkness for you, meaning they're actually doing you a favor. Okay. So they're not here to punish you. They're not here to make you suffer. They're just here to help you, to serve you in that way. And for me, how I look at it, it's like it's the most beautiful thing, that beautiful act of love that anyone can ever do for you. To actually agree to forget who they are because they love you so, so much. It might not look at it, it might not look like it right now, especially when you're in the struggle. But if you're actually able to take a step back and just be observing of the situation, you'd realize that whatever they're doing, it's literally the highest form of love. Okay, I don't know if it's the highest, but one of the highest forms of love that they can ever give you. That I'm gonna be willing to forget who I am. I'm going to be willing to take on the bad guy role. For anyone who's actually for any parent here, right? And you have kids, I'm sure like, you and your spouse, there's always the good guy and the bad guy, right? You can't all be good guys and saying yes all the time. There has to be one of you who has to say no to the kids, right? So that's the bad guy. Okay. If you look at it like that, does it mean that the person playing the role of the bad guy, that they're not a good person? That when they say no, that they hate the kids? No, those boundaries need to be set, because without them, the kids is gonna go crazy and gonna do whatever they want to do, and it will actually end up in a very disastrous situation. If you didn't have the person say no, like no, you can't go climbing up the trees and all of that, you might fall. You can't go throwing things in the house, you might actually break the TV. So I have to play the bad guy role. So for the kid, it will be like, this parent doesn't love me. This parent always denies me. Fine. But this parent is willing to take on that role, because if they would allow you to continue as you're doing right now, again, the consequences are going to be really bad. You're going to break that TV, you're going to fall off from that tree and break your neck or your leg or whatever, and that's going to be painful for you. You won't be able to handle it. So because I love you so much, I'm going to be the person who tells you no. I'm going to be the bad guy. And that's how I just want you to look at these people who are playing these roles in your life. That I'm willing to forget my goodness. I'm willing to forget my light for you, so that you can learn the lessons that you need to learn in this present life. And the beauty of this is what? That once you tap into whatever lessons you need to learn in that moment, and you kind of come up like, so this a person is actually serving me. Do you know you actually release them from that contract? You release them from having to serve you in that way, and you allow them now to begin their healing. But as long as you're holding on to the anger, and as long as you're still sticking to the old roles they used to play in your life, the abuser, the person who betrayed me, and all of that, you're also not being in service to them. You're still keeping them stuck in an old role, in an old identity, which is not who they are, which is not actually who they are. Again, they are of the light. Their souls are of light. Their soul just knows goodness. Okay, so once you release that needing to hold them back to always remember, this is what you did to me in the past, this and this and this and always being accusatory and all of that, instead of doing that, just release that. And how do you do that? Just through forgiveness and through understanding and through awareness of I hired this person to play this role. And they agreed. They did the job perfectly. So what I actually need to do is thank them because they made the movie more interesting, right? Again, a very hard concept for you to tap into. But once you start bringing this in how you even show up in the world, right? The person who cuts you off in traffic, they're there to be in service to you. Even though in the moment it looks like this person is just out of their mind or something. Why on earth are they cutting me off? You could get into an accident, right? But they're there to serve you, to help remind you. Maybe you need to slow down. Life is not that serious. Take a breath, enjoy music or whatever if you're stuck in traffic, right? That's how they're there to serve you, to help you awaken more of who you are. Tap into more of who you are. Tap into the goodness inside of you that you might not be able to tap into had this person not played the role. So you start looking at everyone like that, and trust me, you'll start releasing the anger. And this is something I've spoken so much about in my previous videos on this live. It's that you go back and look at all those so-called painful experiences you had and the players who are playing that role for you. Go look at them and see what good came out of that. Because I can guarantee you that even though that experience was hard, as long as you learned the lessons and you were able to move on from that person, you grew in such a tremendous way. And probably your higher self knew without this pain, this person will never have been able to get to where they are right now. So I had to hire this person to play this role, sadly. And once you realize that, Jim, forgive this person. Thank them, be in gratitude to them because they did you the biggest favor imaginable. Okay? I'm trying to see if there's anything else I need to add on this because I feel like there's more. So let me just think a bit. Oh, yeah. So this is another analogy that I also tapped into that might actually also help you explain basically the kind of reality we're living in. You know, like how you're playing a game, right? So the person, okay, or the characters in the game might assume that they're the real person because they have no experience of anything outside of that, right? So to them, the virtual world they're living in, that's reality for them, which is us right now. We might be going through an experience and we're thinking, this is it. This is all I know. This is all that exists. But behind the scenes, there's actually someone who's, touching all these controls and controlling which levels this character goes to. And that's again the role that your higher self is playing. And again, as in the game, there are always all these different players because they make the game more interesting. You can, okay, you can go through life alone, but usually, like if you're playing with another characters and they're different characters, like can you imagine like just you and the game is here and there's nothing else in the game? It's just a black background and you're just figuring things out. No, you have to hire different things, right? You gotta put the landscape, you gotta put the woman in the street who's walking, like something to give the game more visual, right? And that's the role that you're hiring all these people around you to play to make the game more interesting for you. Okay, so don't confuse that character as the real you. You're the person behind that character. And another way that can also help explain this is that, I also work with the Akashic Records. So I know a thing or two about past lives, right? And there's a book I love to recommend to you called Journey of Souls. And it's one of the most amazing books that will actually help you understand why we live the lives like why do we have all these people, we keep on attracting different people, who's my father, who's my mother, like all of that. Like the book really explained that so different, so beautifully, like what actually happens on the other side once we cross over and people wake up and they're like, oh my god, I was so attached to being that famous politician, but on this other side, even the people that I hurt, I'm actually some of my best friends on the spirit side. Like if you read that book, it's gonna open you up to so much. And I don't think I can even do justice to explain what was in that book. So go check it out. Journey of Souls. Okay. But what I loved about that book, one part was just to that helped shift also this perspective for me was the fact that you're always playing different roles in different lifetimes. Meaning that in this lifetime, my higher self will have hired you to play the bad guy role, the abusive parent, the neglectful parent, the parent who abandoned me, and all of that. In another lifetime, I'm probably the one who was playing that role for you. So we're always interchanging just to make the game more interesting. Like, okay, so now you go play the bad cop and we see what's gonna happen with that. Like, how good can you do? Because the soul wants to experience itself in different ways. That's the fun of it. Okay, we're just here literally to just have fun. Like games are not supposed to be boring. You're supposed to enjoy yourself, right? Even though in the moment it feels like this is the worst thing possible. On this other side, even though I haven't experienced it, I'm sure like once you wake up to that, you're like, damn, that was the best game ever. Okay. That was the best game ever. Like, look at how far I got. Look at how many levels I was able to go to. Look at how all these people I managed to interact with and who impacted my life in the game and all of that. Right? Like I'm just visualizing the kind of conversation, which is part of what the journey of souls actually talks about. Like when you go to the other side and then you realize the parent that you thought was the worst possible thing that could ever happen to you in the physical world, on this other side, your best friend ever. Like they were just, and you'll actually sit down with this person and start laughing at them. How crazy that experience was. And that's pretty much it. Start bringing this mindset to how you show up in the world. The next time someone pisses you off at work, the next time your spouse does something so ridiculous, the next time someone just betrays you, or I don't care, whatever kind of hurt, look at it as this person is here to serve me, to help me awaken to a truth that maybe I'm not able to tap into. So they need to play that role. So thank you so much for serving me. Thank you. Now that I'm aware there's something within me that I need to heal, there's something within me that I need to release. Thank you for your service. And once you learn the lesson, boom, no need to play that role. It's on to the next. And you meet the next person playing whatever role they have for you. And that's basically the journey of life. Okay. So I'm gonna end the live here. I don't know if there's anything else I want to say, but that was pretty much it. I hope you've enjoyed the analogies, and I hope I will catch you guys on Wednesday, in the next live. And I did promise I was gonna share how I can actually help you. If this is something that you struggle with, and maybe you're tired of attracting the same kind of experiences, the same kind of people over and over again, because trust me, there's a reason behind why you keep on attracting the same kind of experiences over and over again, like the same person just in different bodies. There's a reason behind that. And in most cases, what I found with my clients, it's the fact that there's a lesson or a karmic consequence that your soul needs to resolve in this lifetime. So you'll keep on attracting the same kind of circumstances, with the same underlying energetic quality to help you here, you, the person who's playing the role that you're playing right now, to awaken to a different way of doing things, to make different choices so that you can show up better. You can resolve that karmic consequence from a different lifetime. So all the experiences, all the people you've attracted in this life, including your parents, your brothers, I don't care, all those people, there's a reason why they were there. Okay, to help you resolve all these things and release all these fake qualities that you might have picked up in different lifetimes with the different roles that you're playing. So I do work with one modality which is called soul realignment, which is actually based on working with the Akashic records. And what this does is that, first of all, it gets to the soul identity. Who are you really? In the world we're living in, especially with all the access to information that we have, it's very easy for you to get confused as to what path am I supposed to follow? What am I supposed to do with my life and all of that? So without awareness of this is actually who I am, you might be triggered to go from here to here to here in the chase of excellence, in the chase of success. But by doing that, you're actually disconnecting more and more to your authenticity. So what soul realignment does is that it actually gives you that identity back. This is who you were created to be. These are your soul level gifts that you were supposed to leverage to create the amazing experience that you want in this lifetime. Without tapping into these gifts, life is always going to be a drag. Have you ever tried to force yourself into something that just is not giving in? That's basically how most people are going through life, right? They're trying to be something that they're not. thinking that, I just gotta try harder, I just gotta do this and that, and things are gonna work out, but you're literally working against who you are. Once you tap into who you are, your true soul identity, yes, I'm not saying the challenges will not be there, they will be there, but it'll be easier. It won't feel like you're fighting against yourself. You'll just be going through with the flow of life. So soul identity, soul level gifts, and then it helps you identify. It actually gives you the soul story of whatever lifetime that your soul started making negative choices that you're still making right now and impacting your life in a negative, dysfunctional way. So when it does that, it helps you identify that particular. What did you do in that lifetime? Who did you encounter? What choices did you make right now? And you find that in most cases, those choices you made them, it could be 10 lifetimes, 8 lifetimes ago. For most people, they're still making the same choices right now, especially if they're not awakened to the truth of who they are. So they keep on making the same mistakes. And what soul realignment does is it brings awareness to what these choices are in an attempt to help you now make better choices going forward. Because now, if you know that in the past I kept on going towards or staying with a partner maybe who was abusive or something like that. So in this lifetime, if I've been attracting that, then the way to resolve that is for me to just walk away. I notice someone having this kind of a behavior, boom, I'm out. I'm not gonna wait because I don't want to continue repeating the same mistakes of the past. Literally, that's how you change life. Just bringing awareness to your day-to-day operations and then choosing differently and see what comes out of it. Okay, and then the last part of the reading, if you ever choose a soul element reading with me, is that you get to heal all this karma energetically. Remember, we're 99.999% energy. And if at all these stories are within your energetic soul blueprint, you find that you'll always be a vibrational match to who you are in your past life. You'll keep on attracting again the same people, the same circumstances over and over and over again, and you won't know why. Well, the reason why is that as long as these patterns are still part of your blueprint, that's basically the laws of the world you live in. You get what you are, right? So keep on attracting those people because they're a vibrational match to who you are at soul level. But with soul alignment, you get to clear all these karmic patterns. You get to clear them out, return your blueprint back to its integrity. And now, with the awareness that you have based on the session, how you show up in the world, it's going to be different. You're going to be making better choices because now you know when I do this, this is what happens. So I'm not going to do that. Okay. So that's one modality. The second modality I work with is quantum flow. So I love quantum flow so much because literally I don't know what the magic is in this particular modality because I've done it since 2020. And when I tell you, you will not even be able to recognize me. If you knew me back then and me now, like those are two different personalities. Why? Because what quantum flow does, it helps me come back to my natural state. Remember, this is what I was talking about in the talk. It's that quantum flow, what it does is that it clears all these stories that you've picked up in between, all the past trauma that you've imprinted within you, some of which is not even from yourself, some of which is actually from generational karma, generational trauma that's still part of your DNA, that's still affecting you even now. So what quantum flow does is that it helps break this old ways of living, this trauma that's still stuck within your nervous system, through breathwork, sound, through movement, break them down so that now, once you get the energy flowing again as it should have been, back to your natural state, now you can awaken to more and more of who you are. Now you can start creating a better experience for yourself. Now you can stop attracting all these people and experiences you've been again attracting based on who you were in the past. So what quantum flow does, it breaks down this crystallization because what the trauma, the emotional wounds do is they form neurons, like the neurons think of what is it called, right? Like they fuse together the same when you keep on making the same choices again and again, getting triggered again and again. Like you cause the neurons to fuse together and harden. And now all of a sudden it becomes part of you, who you are, and you'll forever be operating based on that past traumatic experience of whoever emerged from that, you'll keep on showing up like that in your present life right now. So again, quantum flow breaks this down, gets the energy flowing again, and then you find that you awaken higher states of being in your mental, in your emotional, in your spirituality, in your physical well-being. So if you're curious about this, any of these modalities, and maybe you'd want to know more, you can check out my links down below. Check out the offers I have. I do have one-on-one sessions. That's all I offer. I don't do group sessions yet. Maybe in future I'll do that for the quantum flow, not so realignment. Check out my offerings down below, and see what works best for you. I always advise that the thing that has worked for me is the combination of these two modalities, because one helps me get to the root cause and actually have awareness of what how I'm supposed to show up in the world. And the other one helped me clear all these mechanisms that was preventing me from tapping into who I was. So I find the combination of the two to be super magical. Like I said, trust me, if you'd known me 2, 3 years ago, like I'm a completely different person. And this is my dream for you to awaken to your full potential. Not to be like me, no, because you are your own individual, you are your own authentic expression. So it's just to help remind you why are you here and to help you find your path and help you clear whatever is blocking you from tapping into this. So again, if you're curious about this, you can check out the description link down below. I'm going to be sharing the links to all of that. Connect with me. You can book a discovery call. You can connect with me on Facebook or Instagram if you have any questions. For me right now, I'm just hoping I will get to see you on the other side if you ever watch this. And I'm sending you so much love. And if you're new to my channel and you like the kind of content I share out here, make sure that you subscribe because that really does help support my channel. Subscribe and also click on the notification bell so that you can help me and support my channel and help me to grow and reach more people, which is just my wish and dream. Okay, so for now, I'm sending you so much love and I hope I'll see you guys next time. It should be on Wednesday, same time. Bye for now.